Thank you. New overnight, Colorado Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert's ex-husband has been arrested on suspicion of misdemeanor assault and criminal mischief. The two got into a public altercation over the weekend. Court records show Jason Boebert was arrested Tuesday. Jail logs show he bonded out the same day. It is not clear whether his arrest is tied to the incident on Saturday. Officers responded to a restaurant in the town of Silt for an altercation between the couple. Jason Boebert told multiple media outlets he met his ex-wife there to talk. The Congresswoman says she did not punch her ex in the face and called the relationship a, quote, sad situation that keeps escalating. Court records do not indicate a pending case against Lauren Boebert. We reached out to the DA's office, Silt Police, and the Garfield County Sheriff's Office last night, but have not heard back.
Right now, police in Denver are searching for a driver who ran over a pedestrian and then took off. This happened around 10 o'clock yesterday morning near Broadway in California. Police say the person is seriously hurt. They are looking for a driver in a 2001 green and tan Subaru Outback. The license plate is listed there on your screen, and police are asking anyone with information to call 911. Colorado State Patrol is worried about aggressive driving and road rage in our state. CSP says those make up half the calls that dispatchers got last year. In total, CSP says it took nearly 30,000 emergency calls about dangerous driving. They got more road rage calls than suspected DUI, and they're concerned about anger on the roads escalating to violence, especially since 2023 also brought a series of shootings on roads across the metro area. Investigators say road rage was a factor in at least some of those cases.
This morning, we're learning more about the man who got into a shootout with police outside a hotel in Windsor. Prosecutors say he was wearing body armor and had multiple guns and shot at police from the top of a fire truck. Our partners at the Colorado were in court Monday when Damian Jackson made his first appearance. Prosecutors told the judge that Jackson was walking through the American Hotel off I-25 in Windsor with a gun. They say he pulled the fire alarm, wanting police to show up. Prosecutors say Jackson somehow got on top of a fire truck and fired down at officers. The officers took cover behind a car along with two bystanders. Officers fired back, then tased Jackson and took him into custody. No one was hurt. Jackson is now in jail on suspicion of attempted murder, held on $500,000 cash bond.
Colorado's lawmakers are back to work today. A new legislative session is beginning at the State House. We already know at least a few issues that lawmakers will work on over the next few months, including caring for foster kids, tackling wage theft, and rising property taxes. Democratic Governor Jared Polis is set to deliver his State of the State address tomorrow morning at 11. The legislative session is scheduled to end May 8th.
In Washington, just about a week and a half to go until the first part of the government spending plan runs out. If they can't come to an agreement on a new deal, the government will shut down. Today, a few Republicans are holding a session to explain why they actually want to let the clock run out and shut down the government. They say it could put pressure on the Democrats to agree to more spending cuts and tighter border security.
There are only some very rare exceptions and extenuating circumstances. The border is one of those.
Not everyone agrees, though. Republican Speaker Mike Johnson says House and Senate leaders are working on a long-term bipartisan plan. Right now, the U.S. is operating under a two-part funding plan. The first part expires on January 19th. The second part expires February 2nd.
This morning, we are learning more about why the U.S. Secretary of Defense was hospitalized without many top leaders knowing about it. Doctors say Secretary Lloyd Austin had surgery for prostate cancer on December 22nd and was released the next morning. He was taken back to the hospital in an ambulance on January 1st because of complications from that surgery. On January 2nd, he was admitted to the ICU. Now, the White House didn't know about it until days later on January 4th. Austin transferred some of his authorities to his deputy, and she didn't even know until the 4th either. Members of Congress, Pentagon leaders, and the general public all found out on the 5th. Now, some of them are questioning why it took so long.
I shouldn't be in charge of our military now.
Well, I'm going to continue calling for full disclosure. I'm calling for a full hearing.
The Pentagon says it's now reviewing who knew what and when and why the White House wasn't told immediately. Austin is still in the hospital. We don't know when he is expected to be released, but doctors say his prognosis is excellent.
The stage is set for the GOP debate in Des Moines. It is the last one before the Iowa caucuses, and only two candidates will be there. Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, and Nikki Haley all qualified, but only Haley and DeSantis will be there. Trump is holding a town hall instead. He is still leading the polls by a landslide. The debate starts at 9 o'clock tonight, then the Iowa caucuses on January 15th.
This week, leaders are set to be in the United Nations top court after South Africa accused Israel of genocide. The accusations include killing and displacing Palestinians and denying them food, water, and other essentials. More than 23,000 people have been killed in Gaza, and the World Health Organization says Gaza is reaching the point of a famine. The court will hear arguments from both sides, and whatever it decides will be legally binding. Israel says its response was necessary after Hamas attacked back in October.
New this morning, natural disasters in the U.S. cost $28 billion in 2023. That's a record-breaking number. According to NOAA, the most expensive one was the drought that hit the South and Midwest. That led to slower crop growth and issues with Louisiana's water supply. Other major weather events last year: wildfires, flooding, and record heat waves.
Right now, we are following severe weather literally all across the country. In the mid-Atlantic, we are seeing a lot of rain. This is in Silver Spring, Maryland, right outside of D.C. You can see roads just totally flooded there. Some schools are delayed today because of this, and more rain is coming tomorrow. Now, in the southeast, at least 3 people have died after big storms there. Tornadoes moved from Alabama to Florida's Panhandle up into Georgia. Homes and other buildings and trees are completely ripped up from the ground. Now the National Weather Service will have to survey that damage. And in the Midwest, the story there is snow. In Iowa, several cars and trucks crashed on I-80 near Cedar Rapids. Pretty much whiteout conditions in that area. Some places got up to 10 inches of snow. Some presidential candidates in town for the caucuses had to actually campaign events because of the snow.
And one thing you want to know about our weather is temperatures look pretty good off the thermometer, 30s and low 40s. However, with those gusty winds, it's going to feel like the teens for most of the day, but we'll see sunny to partly sunny skies. Then tomorrow, chance for snow and colder, only in the 20s for the highs.
Ed, thank you so much. Right now, the roads are quiet. If you're getting ready to catch an early flight out of Denver International Airport, you are in fantastic shape. Check out these wait times. Bridge security, 3 minutes. North security, 4 minutes. South security, a quick 7 minutes.